this is Dr. Kirkendall. I wanted to take just a quick moment to talk to you about the 4 primary core important things to have evaluated when you're ever working with an alternative healthcare practitioner. Now, there's 4 primary issues where you can have breakdown. Number 1 is structure. Number 2 is biochemistry or the nutritional aspect. Number 3 is the emotional aspect or stress. And number 4 has a lot to do with toxicity. So number 1, in looking with structure, it's really important to recognize that you have a brain, you have a spine, you have a spinal cord, and out of the spinal cord comes all of these nerves. And these nerves innervate or connect to your fingers, your lungs, your thyroid, your adrenals, your heart, your liver, your gallbladder, your everything, your skin, the ability for me to talk to you. And if for any reason in that spinal canal, those bones that are structured in your spine are out of position, just even gently, that neuropraxia, this chemical inflammation that develops around the nerve, will start to interfere with the natural flow of that nerve through the spine and through the body. And what ends up happening is, 1, you get pain. Yes, that's where most people understand what chiropractic is. But number 2, you get decreased frequency of firing, and that function of that organ, that nerve, that heart will actually not get the energy input that it needs on a cellular level, not on a woo-woo level, but literally the electron flow, because you are, after all, an electrical being. That electrical flow doesn't get to the heart, get to the lungs, and you start to have decreased firing and start to get ill. So it's really important to have that system evaluated. Now, secondly is the biochemistry and nutritional base. And I like to call these bases. There's basically 4 that I just stated. Structure, biochemistry, nutrition, emotion, and toxicity. So the second one is ultimately the biochemistry and nutritional aspect. And when the nutritional aspect, if there's a deficiency, obviously you can't build a building without having the proper boards and nails and hammers. If you have all the boards in the world and all the men in the world to build the thing and all the hammers, but you don't have nails to put it together, the house is worth nothing. It's just like a pile of wood. So ultimately we've got to look at the nutrition and what is the underlying things that the body is needing. If it's thyroid, maybe it needs a proper nutrition like iodine or some other type of nutrient like selenium. Or if it's the liver, maybe it needs molybdenum or glutathione or antioxidants. So ultimately, let's evaluate for that individual person, what is the underlying issues that are related to this individual's case. Find out what that nutritional biochemical need is, supply that, and watch magic begin to happen. Thirdly, there's the emotional component. Now, if you were super stressed out, you have unforgiveness in your life, you've been through great trauma, and you just have, you won't give it up, you won't give up the fact that you want to be right in the world, then you're going to struggle. I don't care how good your practitioner is or how good you are as a health achiever, and you're doing all the right things, you're eating all these things. If you walk around angry and pissed off in the world, it's going to affect your entire world. It colors the world. It's like wearing a pair of glasses that are not good for you. It looks like a terrible rose-colored pair of glasses. They clash with everything you have. You're doing everything else right, but you're walking around angry, mad, sad, resentful, whatever that is. You have to begin to address that. And I use a technique in the office that's very powerful called neuro-emotional technique. It behooves you to find a practitioner that does neuro-emotional technique. It's powerful. It's not talk therapy, but it allows you to identify where that issue is in the body and begin to release that emotional charge. And that's just an energy charge. And when you do, that relieves, and then you're able to move on further. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful first step in beginning to heal these aspects of your inner body. Now, that's a third base. Now, fourth base is basically the aspect of toxicity. Now, if there's too much toxicity in your body, in your environment, in your system, it's going to build up and you're going to prevent you from getting well. If you're dealing with a structure and you're dealing with all the biochemistry and nutritional aspect, you're playing with giving everything it needs, you're dealing and clearing the emotional blocks in your life, you're doing the different techniques for all 3 of these. If you miss that fourth base, which is toxicity, and we live in the most toxic planet that there's ever been before because of all the new chemicals that are pouring out into our environment every day, we're missing a big piece. And every one of these 4 bases is a huge piece of the puzzle. Don't miss a one of them. That's the importance, and that's how we get to the core underlying for each individual's healthcare needs and what's causing and what's missing there. So we address what is the toxic element that's built up in the body, address it, give it something that it needs to clear it, whether it's through a food or an antioxidant or glutathione or a typical type of herb or homeopathy. The body will begin to clear it. And guess what? Amazing things happen. If you clear what's blocking you and your distance in front of you, guess what? The journey is quite easy. be. So we just identify what's it right for that individual person, and it can be a very powerful transformation. So hopefully this information today was really powerful for you to begin to take your power back. Have a wonderful day.